Boys, I just got done recording this entire video and then realized my mic was turned off the entire time. So, take two. Anyways, this is Deathmark, Sector 4. I'm having trouble with getting all of them done. I only have Death Trooper. Specifically, this will be helpful for those that don't have Jar Jar Binks or Reva in order to get this done, because those two will probably be easier, but for those of us that don't have those, we're kind of stuck doing it with Death Trooper. Darth Revan's Deathmark does not count during this, so unfortunately, you're not able to use that. But this is the node that we're doing it on, this Geo node here in Sector 4, and the team that we're going to use is going to be this. Where the heck did it go? It's going to be this Thrawn lead, Darth Malak, Darth Nihilus, Wat Tambor, and Death Trooper. We're going to get all of these done in one battle. I actually didn't. You saw I got 8 there. This is mainly because I'm at 60% and I didn't quite know the strategy. If you know the strategy going into the battle, you can be quicker than I was. I was still kind of trying to mess around with this, and I don't want to waste a bunch of energy because I'm pretty limited on resources. So I will walk you through the strategy here. So Wat Tambor, you do need that Zeta on him, but hopefully you have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the health recovery over onto Malak, not the protection recovery because he doesn't have protection. And then Malak's going to soak up all the hits this whole fight. Thrawn is here to pass turns over to Nihilus to get Nihilus to annihilate as fast as possible. And then after that, he'll be switched to passing turns to Death Trooper so Death Trooper can get as many death marks as possible. What I'm trying to do here is basically get Nihilus to annihilate somebody. Death Trooper needs a kill first in order to start inflicting death mark. And so what he's going to do is Nihilus is going to get a kill, ideally on Spy if you can, but he's going to be stuck under stealth most of the time. So what I did is I actually ended up getting Poggle instead. I'm going to put the turn meter thing onto Death Trooper as well from Wat, so that way Death Trooper's taking as many turns as possible. If you're smart, what you might actually want to do is save that turn meter thing until after you kill somebody, so that way Death Trooper's not wasting time taking turns right now, but he's getting the turns later. Then what we're going to do is basically wait until Nihilus can get his Annihilate. And the other thing you want to do is save Thrawn's Fracture till right before Nihilus annihilates, so you can get to somebody other than the Brute. If you annihilate the Brute, for some reason, it doesn't count as a kill for Death Trooper's Deathmark to start triggering. And so you need to make sure you have Fracture ready. And I think I kind of screwed this up in this battle, but you really want Fracture to be ready right before Annihilate, so you can put Fracture onto the Brute, so you can pick Poggle or Spy ideally, but most likely you'll get stuck doing Poggle to annihilate. That's so that way Death Trooper doesn't get ability blocked. Then basically just keep focusing down until you get to annihilate. Once you've annihilated, Death Trooper can start inflicting death marks, and you can start spamming those out. When you get to that point, what you're going to want to do is really target the Brute for the death marks, because if you start killing off all the team, you're going to lose characters that you can do it on. But if you target the Brute, what will happen is you'll kill the Brute, and then you can plop the death mark onto somebody else, and then by that time, usually the GBA will summon the Brute back. Now, I won't guarantee that you can do this in one battle, but you should be able to do it within 2 if you have better percentages on your characters. I did not have good percentages on my characters going into this. You saw they were at like 50 for most of them. And if you know the strategy and optimize it a little bit better than I did here, then you'll be able to do this a lot better. So again, rundown, we're going to put the health recovery onto Malak, so Malak can tank all the hits. Again, any tank will really work there, but Malak is probably the best in my opinion. Maybe a crew, actually. Honestly, now that I think about it, crew, and you could put tank tech onto him. That might have actually been better, not going to lie. Whoever there just to soak up the hits, and make sure you have a voluntary vanguard so that they're hitting all the hits. And then what you want to do is pass turns over to Nihilus to start with Thrawn. Basically just get to annihilate as soon as possible. Use annihilate onto Poggle. Then once you've killed somebody, you can start spamming out those death marks from Death Trooper, but you want to make sure you put the death mark onto the Geonoshi and Brute as much as possible. A couple other optimized tips: make sure that you're saving Fracture right before Nihilus annihilates, so that you don't get stuck behind the Brute, and you don't have to wait a turn like I did in this battle. And then make sure with that granted ability from Thrawn's lead that you're using that whenever you can't use the death mark from Death Trooper, so he can get more turn meter. And then same thing with Thrawn, when he can't pass turns, just use that granted ability after you've gotten the kill, so that way you can get the turn meter going and eventually pass turns back to Death Trooper as much as possible. Again, I run out of time here and don't quite get it. I get 8 total I think I actually had 2 before this, so I don't think I only get 6 in this battle, really. But I definitely think you can get 10 if you are just a little bit smarter with your managing your cooldowns, especially the one where I had to take a whole turn to get Nihilus's Annihilate to go again. But 2 battles, for sure you can get it. 1 battle if you're smart. Another thing, make sure you take off any data discs like the weak spot that let you ramp up offense. If you're ramping up offense, you're just going to kill the Geos too fast. So hopefully this helps get you this thing in 1 or 2 battles. I'll fast forward it here so we can see the end of this battle, but you'll see I time out before I can get too many more, but I get one right here at the end, right at 5 seconds. I get my last one. And so I got 6 during this battle. You can definitely get 10 if you're just a little bit faster and a little bit more geared up with your characters during this. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe. All right, bye.